Well, it is sort of technique involved, I suppose. That you sort of. I remember when I used to watch comedians on the television when I was younger, and sometimes if a comedian doesn't find what he's doing funny, you get an extra laugh. You know, you get sort of like if you don't seem to be amused by what's happening around you, then that sort of continues the laugh in a way. So it's sort of, and it looks less self-indulgent, I think.
You love comedy and you love comedians. That's something that's always come across. I mean, you're passionate about it, aren't you?
Yes, I got interested in comedy from a very early age, really. When I was about sort of 3, 4, that sort of age, you know. And I remember an occasion once when I dressed in my dad's clothes and they were much too big for me, and everybody laughing, and that felt good, you know. It's a very sort of we like to encourage laughter in others as long as it's the right kind of laughter.
Is it important that we cherish our old theatres? Because I know they're building them new with air conditioning and all very glamorous and all of that, but it's the history, isn't it, of people who stood on the stage? Yeah,
there's a history of it, and obviously, you know, the theatre has to be a good theatre. There's no point in preserving a sort of theatre that doesn't work, really. And the thing that's interesting about this theatre is because it's quite sort of long and narrow, the rake on the stage, e.g. the slope on the stage, is quite severe. So you sort of, that was for the benefit of the people sitting right at the top, they could see you. Now, that you don't get that on a modern stage so much now because they're designed in a different way. So aspects like that and that sort of rake thing. I mean, Buster Keaton played there in the 1940s and rolled off the stage during his act, so into the pit, so into the orchestra pit. When we played it a couple of years ago, Paul Merton's Improv Chance, we had Jim Sweeney with us, who was in a wheelchair at that point, and he could sort of just roll onto the stage and start hurtling towards the front row. And, he would always steer it away just at the last minute, but it was easy. You know, he got a good kick out of that, I think.
Do you have a script for the show? Do you know what you're going to talk about?
We don't know. We have no idea. The show doesn't exist as I speak now. When we on stage in about 2 hours' time, we'll see from the first moment what sort of audience are going to be like. We have no idea. It's a different show every time. It works every time, thank goodness, because it's no good saying, oh, it was a terrible show, but it was improvised, so that sort of forgives it. It still has to work, but it does work every time. And if it goes a bit quiet, we'll have to sort of make sure we get some laughs in there. But that's the thrill and joy and the difficulty and the great reward of it as well.
I mean, you are the comedy sadist. It would be much easier to write it knowing it's going to work and then go on and perform it than have to ad-lib it every night.
Yeah, but then you get bored after a while, wouldn't you? You know, I'm sort of looking at some of these theatres I'm going to, and I'm looking at sort of the tours that solo comics doing, stand-up comics. Some of them are doing like sort of 40 dates or something like that, and doing the same thing every night. You know, that can be, tour fatigue does set in for them. For us, there's 5 of us. It's always completely different. So, you can't be bored, because you've no idea what's going to be. Within the next moment, you could be an owl playing the trumpet.
An owl playing a trumpet?
Yeah, you could be. That could happen. It could just happen. You could be in a spaceship. You could be the first nun on the moon. It could be anything.
Is comedy going in a good direction? Because it seems to be going towards the arenas, and that's the worst place to see a comedian. You can't touch them. They can't touch you or play with you.
I haven't been to see an arena gig, but it would feel that would be the case. I mean, obviously people use big screens and stuff like that. I think when you get to that kind of thing, where people are saying maybe 10,000 people in the audience, such is the expectation among the crowd, they've had the tickets for a while and it's somebody they really want to see, that it should guarantee it's a good gig. I mean, people should come away enjoying it, and presumably they do, otherwise these arenas wouldn't fill up every time people tour. So I'm not having seen one in action, it would feel as if there is certainly a problem there you'd have to address.
It's easier to get the DVD and cheaper.
Yes. Maybe you can stop it when you like.